member, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. So today I am super excited to announce the collab that I'm doing today with Alyssa from Celtic Fairy Tarot and Monica from Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. We decided to do the witch, the shaman, and the fairy. I'm taking the shaman, Monica is taking the witch, and Alyssa is taking the fairy. The links to those videos will be in my description box along with the piles. And the piles are, pile 1 is Anima Mundi, pile 2 is the mountain, and pile 3 is the lover. So take your time. I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds to go to whatever one you feel intuitively called to, and then I will see you guys on the other side. Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So today we're looking at the shaman archetype and how that's playing out in your life right now. Your main card's Anima Mundi. Then we have visionary, light attributes, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain, shadow attributes, selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. Flexibility, we have 14, beautiful, uncaging. We have 19, rest and rejuvenation. We have new beginnings, divine father, priorities, master teacher, magician in the mirror, feeling the world. We have pioneer, light attribute, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before, shadow attribute, compulsive need to keep moving on, and leadership. So first of all, your main card is like one of the cards that I have the hardest time like understanding because it's such a huge concept, but it technically is everything in the world as a connection, like connected to everything in the world and feeling your connection in the world in a way that it's like almost, I always just see it as like this branch out of like energy of like you're connected and everything is connected. And that's basically what this card is about everything being connected and seeing how you kind of are connected to every single person and every single animal and every single tree in the whole world. And it's one of the most spiritual cards in the deck. And it's just, it's a very, I'm trying to find the right words. It's just a very conscious, unconscious, mystical card. It's like the definition's mystical. And so, I don't know, I get the sense that in this pile, you guys have had a hard time feeling like you belong. I feel like most of you are very different and very rare in the sense that, excuse me, in the sense that you guys just haven't fit in because you're so different, but it's because you are such a rare soul and a rare person in the world, and you're just different. I don't know. It's like almost like this star seed energy or like energy of like just really mystical energy. You guys have a very mystical energy, and what's come up, which I think is very interesting, is visionary, pioneer, and leadership, which to me, all of those point to someone that's a leader, someone that has a very big vision for the world, someone that knows that they're going to make a difference. They don't know how maybe yet they're going to make the big difference, but they know that they're meant to make a big difference here on earth. And I get the sense that a lot of you or all of you in pile 1 is, well, all of you actually, is meant to make a huge difference. Now, how you go about that is going to be different for all of you, but like we have this feeling the world card and the Anima Mundi card, which I feel like is feeling the world. I feel like you guys are extremely connected to everything and everyone that you come in contact with and the whole world. I feel like you're just very connected as a person. And I get the sense that some of you give a lot, and sometimes you can get burnt out from giving a lot. And I think that that's why we have this rest and rejuvenation card. It's like, you're really good at being in the world, as in like dealing with other people and being great for other people, but the question is that how do you create safety inside yourself and create a beautiful space so that you can have rest and rejuvenation, so that you can keep giving to the world? Because I feel like a lot of you, there's this feeling of like, I feel like I don't have, or I have safety inside myself, but it's hard to come to the safety inside myself. And maybe that's something that you guys are cultivating lately, that space of safety inside yourself, that space of peace, that space of stillness, that place you can come home to when you feel like the whole world is crashing or you feel like your whole world's falling apart. You always have yourself. And I think the message here is that you're an amazing soul, you're a rare soul, and you can always come back to yourself. And it's through coming back to yourself that you can go out into the world, which you're already really good at. And it's like this beautiful uncaging card is so beautiful because I think this is about uncaging your deepest desires, uncaging what makes you feel alive, uncaging the parts of you that you have kept hidden and blocked or like caged to keep yourself safe. I think what you're coming into in this next phase is this uncaging and this breaking of chains of yourself in ways like what I'm hearing is like, how can I lead with my most vulnerable self and feel safe to do so? How can I get in touch with the parts of myself that feel really scared and vulnerable and don't know what's going to happen next and are afraid for the next chapter? There's something that you're meant to do here with this Pioneer card. And then it says priorities, but I keep seeing Pioneer as well when I see priorities just because of the way that it's spelled. But I definitely feel like it's not a coincidence that that's happening. You're meant to do something really big. You're meant to be a pioneer, someone that first discovers something about something and teaches about it. And then we have master teacher. You're meant to teach a lot of people a certain way of being or a certain way of feeling or a certain activity or something. You're meant to do something really big for the world. And it's interesting because the shaman archetype is all about healing and about, in divination and, your own power. And I feel like the archetype and the way that it's showing up for you guys in specifically is this leadership in this reaching new heights, in feeling alive, in going to places that people don't go. It's like, because you're the way you are, because you're such a rare soul, you have this ability to go to places that people don't usually go or see things that people don't usually see. You are a visionary. And so it's like, what are you seeing that people don't see? And do you have a passion for it? And how can you implement it in the material world so it doesn't just live in your head? That's what I'm seeing. This Magician in the Mirror card, it's almost like what you want is what's inside of you. What you want to see in the world is something that's already inside of you. Like looking in the mirror at yourself and seeing yourself clearly and seeing yourself for who you really are is going to be very helpful in figuring out how to move through the world. And I think that you guys are really thinking about, how am I moving through the world? How am I feeling the world? Where do I get my insights from? And how do I take my insights and turn them into ideas? And then how do I turn those ideas into practical action? I think the action piece may be harder because sometimes we don't know and we feel confused or we feel afraid. And I'm just telling you that it's totally normal to feel afraid and to feel like you should be doing something that you're not doing. I always feel like I should be doing something that I'm not doing, like I'm not doing everything right, or I'm not doing something I should be doing. But it's like, should just be removed from our vocabularies, is in like, we shouldn't have to do anything for anyone else but ourselves. And it's like, that's, I think, what you're getting really clear on. It's like, what do I want to do? How do I want to be in the world? What do I want to see? What do I want to implement? What makes me feel alive? I just keep going back to what makes me feel alive. And I did pull this other card, but I didn't put it in here because it didn't fit, but it's called pleasure. And it's like, what does give you pleasure? Like, what makes you feel most in your body? What makes you feel most alive? I just go back to what makes you feel most alive. I think the question that you could ask yourself is, what makes me feel alive? And how can I implement the things that make me feel alive in a way that makes me feel safe? And I think that there's this feeling of like not being able to move out of something, like out into the world or out into, there's fear here. That's what I'm feeling. There's a fear to move forward. There's a fear to do the things that your heart really wants. And I get it. Trust me. Like, I seriously am like dealing with the same thing right now. Like, I'm like, I need to find community, right? Like, I'm transitioning from a different community and I can't bring all of it with me, right? And I have to transition to a new community. And I'm like, I don't want to go to meetups. I don't want to go. I am so afraid to go and be seen somewhere. And so I feel like it's that same sense of like, I'm afraid to take the step to put this in the material world because of X, Y, and Z. It could be fear of being seen. It could be a fear of it not being good enough. It could be fear of failing. I mean, it's just getting really clear on like, what your fears are. How are they affecting you? How are they affecting you? Of course it's going to fall, it's fine. How are they affecting you? How can you move forward in a way that makes you feel okay? And it's like, look, we never have fear or courage without fear. We never have faith without doubt. You can't do one without the other. And it's like, how can I make it not so terrifying so that my body doesn't go into a freeze mode or get stuck and not be able to move? And how do I move through the fear? How do I find the courage that I need to put myself out there in whatever way or form? It could be a business, it could be love, it could be friendship, it could be going out, it could be anything. How do I move through the fear and tend to the part of me that's afraid? Because usually when we're afraid, it has to do with child parts of ourselves that don't feel safe. So how do I make that child part of myself that's super afraid to move through the world safer? And how do I find the courage and understand that fear is not bad, and that fear is just telling me something, and that maybe there's something deeper here that needs to be healed? Because the fear, if it's so overwhelming and it's so terrifying that it causes you to go into a fight, flight, freeze response, then there usually is a deeper reason, a deeper wound, a deeper trauma that is attached to that fear. Like, when have you gotten hurt when you moved out in the world? When have you gotten hurt in love when you were a child? When have you got hurt in your vulnerability? And how can you tend to the root cause of that hurt and also understand that the fear may not ever go away, or it may be really loud in the beginning, but once you get into it, you're going to feel so much better. And it's like being there for yourself in the moments of fear, tending to yourself when you're afraid. And because it's like, I always ask myself, like, how can I get myself out in the world more? And how am I going to get what I need if I'm so afraid to put myself out there, And it's like the same question I would ask you, like, what is the reason? Because there is something here where you are meant to be a pioneer, you are a visionary, you're going to be a leader. It's like, how can you work on yourself and work on shadow work or trauma or whatever, work on that so that you can step into this role of being a leader, so you can step into this role of being a pioneer, so that your visions can come out into the world. And it's funny because I get most of you have actually been looking at this and healing this. So if you've healed some of this, it's just more of the, I don't ever know what to call it, more of just getting more clear on this, more just moving into this, more just being aware that the fear is there and that's okay. It's like, how can we get comfortable with all of our feelings? And how can we realize that if we're having an overwhelming feeling, we're not going to die. It's not going to last forever, and that we're going to feel better soon. Because those are the three. You're going to feel better soon. If you're feeling super afraid right now, if you're feeling super discombobulated, if you're feeling super like not knowing what's going to happen next and afraid, understanding that you're not always going to feel like that and that it will pass. It's like, I almost say that in all of my videos, like the feelings, they're always overwhelming, or they can be very overwhelming, but it doesn't mean that they're going to last forever. And you are healing, you are moving forward, you are looking at this stuff. That's all that matters. And there's the new beginnings. When you find a new beginning, when you move into a phase of your life where there's a new beginning, that is going to create inspiration. I get the sense for you guys, it's pleasure, new beginnings, and being a teacher that basically create this beautiful feeling of inspiration and visionary stuff come out. It's like, those are the three things that are going to help you feel inspired. When you move into a new beginning and you get past the fear and you move through it and you have the courage to go out and be who you are, you have the courage to make a new friend or go into the love relationship or go into the business. When you have that courage to do that, the inspiration that you will get from after moving through that, and the satisfying feeling that you did what you needed to do to get there, is going to cause you the ability to have a clearer vision and be able to step into this role of the pioneer more, this leadership role, because you guys have it. It's very strong. This leadership role is really loud, and you guys are very flexible. You guys have the ability to be very flexible and to move with energy. You guys are very good at moving with energy. It's almost like I see like energy, and like you're able to mute it. You're able to, I keep thinking of mutable, but you're able to be flexible with it. You're able to bend it to your will, but not in like an aggressive way, but you're able to deal with energy very well. Like I see you guys constantly getting hit with energy and you're alchemizing it and changing it into something better. And that's partly, I think, some of the what you're doing. Partly what your gift is being able to feel other people's energy and get energy thrown at you and be able to transmute it and alchemize it. Yeah, and I just feel a ton of inspiration coming for you guys. If you don't feel inspired right now, I feel more inspiration coming from you guys. And if you focus more on what makes you feel pleasure, if you focus more on how to be a better teacher, and if you focus more on creating new beginnings in new places and having more experiences in the world, even if they're fucking scary, that's how you're going to get your inspiration, and that's how you're going to move through this energy of the fear more and easier. And you guys are not going to be afraid forever. It's not going to last forever. You're going to move through these things. It's like almost like we always think like of it as like level. I always think of it as like leveling up, like in a game. I know we shouldn't think of life as a game, but like whatever. It's like leveling up. Like every single phase in your life is going to create something you've learned, and then you're going to move on from it and be able to move up in a level, and then it's going to be harder in some ways, but easier in others, and you're going to be able to keep challenging yourself. And I get the sense that you're moving through the phase of the fear and moving into this, new beginning of some type. It's like you are in a new beginning of some type, and you're moving into this new beginning in this new chapter of your life and this new you. And it's going to be hard at first because of the challenge of the new level that you're going at, but you're going to be able to do it like you've always done it, which is be able to move through it and crush it. And like, then you're going to go to the next level. And this level is about finding the ability to stand in leadership, find the safety inside yourself, be able to come home to yourself, feeling that everything is truly connected because that's who you are, and stepping into this new version of yourself where you don't let the fear overtake you enough to stop you from doing these things, where you actually put yourself out there and you go through that, and then you get inspired, and then new things come into your life, or new people come into your life, and new people in your life is so beautiful. It's so fun to meet new people. It's so scary to meet new people, but it's fun sometimes because it's inspiring, right? Like when I get the sense that you guys are very interested in other people and learning about other people and what makes them tick and what makes them analyze or what hurts them or whatever, like you really love that. It makes you excited. And so I think that when you keep putting yourself out there to meet new people, you're going to be more inspired. You're going to get a better understanding of the world as a whole, which I think is what your goal is. I think that's who you are. You want to understand the world in a better way. You want to understand people in a better way. And it's like once you get more of that, that's what inspires you to continue on your path of figuring out how to be a pioneer and a visionary in whatever way that is for you guys. And it's very specific to each of you. But each of you are very rare and different, and a pioneer and a visionary and a leader and connected to everything. I feel like your main gift is your connection to the world and your want and desire to understand it at a level that most people will never understand. Woo! Okay, that was a lot. Okay, I'm using Psychic Tarot, so it's not like the regular tarot. But Spirit, is there anything else for the archetype for the shaman that I need to talk about for Pile 1? Okay, harmony, spiritual harmony. Spiritual harmony. I don't know why I see spiritual harmony. Power. Look, 2 major arcanas. Harmony, power. You guys are, it's interesting. Of course, another major arcana, awareness. Wow. So the more you find spiritual harmony and harmony within yourself and with others, the more clear that you're going to feel. More clarity that will bring, the more harmonious things are. That's when you know that things are working out the way that they're supposed to, as in like you feel okay. When you feel in harmony with yourself, notice when you feel in harmony with yourself. When do you feel in harmony with yourself? Who is it with? Is it with anyone? Is it alone? Like, cultivate more harmony within yourself, but it's also getting just really clear on what harmony actually feels like in your body. And like, wow, this feels really good right now. Am I feeling in harmony? Yes or no? Yes? Great. Who am I with? What am I doing? Okay, do more of that. Be with that person more. And then power. It's funny because I talked about awareness over here, having the awareness when you're in the harmony, but I think awareness, you guys are very aware. I don't get the sense that I think that you just are so aware that sometimes it might cause pain because of how aware you are of other people's motives and how they think and how they feel. And that can cause pain just because of that. But it's like continuing to follow your intuition, continuing to follow your awareness above all else, above all others. What is your awareness telling you? And then, of course, there's power. And you guys are very powerful. I mean, everything in this pile is powerful. Every single thing. And in different ways. But it's like, how can you, I say this every video, how can you stand in your power more? This is another thing, like, when do you feel in your power? Just like, when do you feel in your harmony? When do you feel in your power and why? And how can you cultivate more of that feeling in your power? And harmony, power, and awareness is going to lead you to inspiration. I just get the sense that a lot of you are trying to find inspiration. That's what I mostly get with this pile. You're trying to find inspiration. And when you feel in harmony, when you feel in your power, and when you are extremely aware and have clarity, that's when your inspirations comes alive. So it's like cultivating these things. And what we talked about before, which is new beginnings, being a teacher, and pleasure. Pleasure is another one. What makes you feel alive? So it's like those things are going to cause you to get out of stuck or stagnant energy, which I don't feel like you're in, but it could happen, right? It's getting out of that stuck and stagnant energy and moving into the beautiful, inspired energy of living, of being alive, of feeling pleasure, of feeling in your body, of feeling harmony, power, and awareness. That's what I feel will help you guys move into inspiration. We're getting more inspiration in your daily life. Okay, I wanted to get some spiritual guidance. Oh, and don't forget to check out Monica with Chemistry from Kismet and Alyssa from Celtic Fairy Tarot. Their links to their videos are in my description box. Don't forget to go there if you're here first. We have 21, open up to your spiritual gifts. Remember that your true nature is spiritual, not physical. The angels are sending you messages to guide your soul's growth. Yeah, you guys have major spiritual gifts. Like the Anima Mundi card is literally just spiritual totally. And of course, this is a spiritual video, like with a shaman and stuff. Oh, this is interesting. Someone new is coming, 28. An important new relationship is on the horizon. Open your mind and heart so that happiness can enter your life. There's someone new coming in your life, you guys. There's someone new coming. It's so funny because I feel like someone new is coming in my life too. It's just interesting. But yeah, someone new is coming in your life. There's a feeling of it, actually. Especially when I read it. Like, it's almost like I see them coming. They're not there yet. I know sometimes in these videos, people are like, oh, they may be someone that's already here. But no, this is someone new. I feel like they're coming. This new beginning that you're stepping into is where you're going to meet this new person. This new beginning, new place, whatever you're transitioning into, that's where you're going to meet them. Step into the spotlight. You have a message that the world needs to hear. It's time to share your wisdom, which is also about leadership and pioneer and visionary. Anything else, Spirit? Your vibration is rising, 43. This is a time of great spiritual growth for you. You are evolving to occupy a higher energetic frequency. That's what I feel. I feel like you guys are moving into inspiration, moving into being a leader, moving into being a visionary more, moving into this. You have so much beauty inside you guys, and you guys are now beginning to be able to take that beauty with all your healing and everything you've done and now put it out into the world. And it's like, it's so totally normal to feel afraid about that. But I promise you that it's safe. I promise you that you're going to be okay. You are going to do great in this world. And this, whatever message you have, this is what I feel too. You have a message for the world, and it's in a pioneer way where most people don't have this message. And it's like, that's what you're bringing to the world. You're bringing your light that's inside you. This magician in the mirror. Look in the mirror, because when you look in the mirror, that's where your inspiration will also come from. What's inside of you that's special that most people don't have, and how can you use that and implement that into the material world? Because you guys are very special. Okay, so I think that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys like my reading. Please like and subscribe if you can, and put a dove in the comment section if you want to. Show me that you're from Pile 1, and I will see you guys next time. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So today we're looking at how the Shaman archetype is playing out in your life. For your main archetype card, we have the Mountain. We have Angel, helping attribute, Light attribute, helping those in need with no expectation of return. Shadow attributes, acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. Stillness, 19, Waking the Lion. We have 28, Victory, Intuition, Inner Child, New Life, Divine Mother. We have Mentor, passing on wisdom and refining a student's character. Shadow attributes, inability to allow the student to move on to the role of the master, imparting false instruction. We have Release, Rest, did I say this? Rest and Rejuvenation, and 22, Tender Embrace. Okay, so first of all, I feel like you guys are climbing a new mountain. I feel like you just ended a different phase of your life. and you're now at the start of a new mountain, a start of a new place to climb, a new beginning of sorts. That's kind of how I feel. And we also have this new life divine mother card. I feel like you guys in this pile are very angelic, are a beautiful mentor. I feel like you guys have really found yourselves in the last couple months or years. I feel like you've really come into yourself. I get the sense of like peace and understanding and compassion for yourself. And I get the sense like you're trying to figure out how to best show up for yourself with this new mountain you're climbing. The mountain may be different for all of you. It could be a business, it could be friendships, it could be love. I just get the sense that a lot of you are trying to figure out how to show up best for yourself while you climb this new mountain. And I just keep hearing grounded, stable. Like you guys are very grounded and stable. It's not that you don't have hard shit hit you. It's just that now you've figured out how to stabilize yourself when things are really, really chaotic and loud. And I feel like you guys have really gotten clear on certain things. I feel like you've done a lot of work on your inner child, and you've done a lot of intuition work on following your intuition. And there's this victory card in Waking the Lion. I feel like since you've done the healing and you finding the stabilization in yourself, now you're looking at, how do I wake the lion inside me? How do I roar? How do I stand in my power? Like, that's what I'm getting. How do I stand in victory of myself and see myself clearly, not just see myself clearly, but be able to use what I have and show who I am in a way that makes me feel like I'm in my power. I feel like you guys are really stepping into, how do I stand in my power? And this mountain, it's like, you've climbed so many mountains and you know how to do it, but it's still scary to start thinking about climbing a new mountain or be at the bottom of the mountain and looking up. It seems overwhelming. And so I think that you're trying to figure out how to deal with maybe the fear and the overwhelm of starting something new. And you're looking at, what do you need to release in order to do that? And also, what relationships can help you get to where you need to go and that aren't going to be jealous of the mountain you're climbing, or that you have the ability to climb mountains. It's like tender embrace. What relationships make you feel like you can be yourself, that you can feel safe, that you can feel seen, that you can come home to ask for love or comfort or whatever. And it's what I'm mostly getting is that you're really figuring out that you can rely on yourself, and that anyone outside of you can't really rely on them the way that you rely on yourself. And that may be painful to realize. It's painful to realize that people come and go, and that you're the only one that will be with you. You're going to be the only one with you when you die. And it's like, I know that's very like, dark, but it's true. And what I'm feeling that you're finding is that you have this sense of confidence, in this sense of reassurance and stability of yourself. And there is, as much as it's sad that other people can come and go, you keep having the ability to come back to yourself, to come back to, I have myself, I'm okay, I'm always going to be here for myself. And that compassionate and beautiful, loving part of yourself that's going to take care of you is always going to be there. And it's just about, how do I tap into that when everything seems like it's falling apart, when everything seems really loud and everything seems really chaotic? How do I continually come back to myself and the relationships that actually are sticking with me, the relationships that do make me feel safe, that make me feel seen? And I get the sense that you're not a person that is able to have just blasé relationships. You have to have a certain type of relationship, as in, like, you need someone that is very non-judgmental. You need someone that is intuitive. You need maybe someone that's spiritual for some of you, not all of you. You need someone that is going to treat you with respect, not betray you, and love you in a way that makes you feel like you can stand in your power, and that champions you when you're in your power. And this rest and rejuvenation card was here for pile 1 as well. I feel like you have figured out what rest and rejuvenation is. It's just, you're trying to implement it into your life in a more structured way. I get, like, you know how to do it. You've done it before. This is what I'm hearing. How do I incorporate more rest into my life, and how do I do it in a way that where I'm not constantly doing it, but where I'm doing it more often in a structured way, so that I can so that I can keep filling my cup. I get the sense that you guys are realizing that you need to always continually fill your cup. I think that you guys have been very good at filling other people's cups. I just think that what you've learned recently and or in the last few months or years is how to fill your own cup, and that you need to look to yourself first before you look to others to give away. Like, it's almost like having a barometer of like, how am I feeling right now? And do I have anything to give? And if I don't, how do I get into this beautiful rest and rejuvenation so that I can feel okay, so that I can move through the world okay, so that I can make good decisions with clarity. It's funny because I hear words, then I'm like, clarity, and it's like, well, you haven't said the first other words you need to say. Because I'm like hearing spirit, it's like words, and I'm like, oh shit. You guys are an inspiration to others. Very, very, very much. You guys are a very big inspiration to others. You like to help others. You're a mentor. You're an angel. I get a lot of you are spiritual. Some of you are not, but I get some of you take comfort in spirituality. And it's like, how can you keep moving into that comfort? Whatever it may be. It may not be spirituality, but what brings you just comfort? Like being in the blankets and watching a movie, or like taking a bath, or like what brings you guys just that feeling of comfort? Because I just get the sense, because you're on the precipice of change, and because you're on the precipice of a new beginning, but you're there, but you're almost there, right? You're not like totally climbing the mountain yet. And there is this feeling of like apprehension or fear or whatever. I don't know exact. It's not a lot. It's just a tiny subtle feeling. It's like, what can you do to create more safety in your daily life every single day so that you can continue to climb this mountain and this next phase and this new beginning that you're having? Because I really get the sense that you guys are all on the precipice of a new beginning, or you're starting a new beginning. That's how I feel. It's almost like you're in the transition stage. I got this sense for the last week's video that there was a transition stage happening, but you're closer to it. And I feel like you're closer to it than you were last week. And it's like, what brings you tender embrace? Who brings you tender embrace? How can you find what makes you feel comfy? Like comfy. Not comfortable. Comfortable's cool. But like comfy. What makes you fills your soul? What makes you feel filled? What makes you feel safe? What makes you feel safe? Anytime we climb a mountain, we have to have safety, right? Or we're not going to climb the mountain without safety. So we have to find ways to make ourselves feel safe. What are the ways that make you feel safe? Getting really clear on what safety is for you personally, and getting really clear on where the stillness is, where the rest and rejuvenation is, and giving yourself that and making it a thing. Like, I'm doing this to feel more comfy, and I'm doing this to make myself feel more filled, and saying that and then doing the activity, making it very intentional. I think sometimes when we do those things, we're like, meh, I'm just doing this because it feels good, right? But it really is like, if you can make it more intentional, I think that would be very helpful for you guys. Making it more intentional. Rest and rejuvenation, comfy stuff, stillness, meditation, if that's your thing. It's different for all of us. And it's like, you are releasing a lot. I also got in the beginning, I forgot to say this, but I feel like your root chakra and your sacral chakra are going through something, like going through a revamp. I say this, I felt like last week some revamp was happening, but the orange is really prevalent, and I keep wanting to go to the sacral chakra, but I go to the root chakra because I think the root chakra is going through a revamp because you're having to create more safety because you're climbing this mountain soon, and because there's some kind of instability in not knowing what's going to happen next, and it's like, that's why I keep going back to the safety, because you guys are going through something where everything is changing, and it can feel very discombobulating. And just understanding that you're about to climb a mountain, understanding that is so scary, and that it can cause a lot of fear and discombobulation, and that's okay. Everything's okay. Nothing's going to fall apart. Everything's okay. And that you do have the stability and the love and the compassion to come back to yourself because you've created that space for yourself. And finding the rest and rejuvenation, the stillness and the comfiness to be able to move up this mountain, figuring out what you need to release. And then also, I think the mountain's about waking the lion. I think the lesson that you're going to learn with climbing this mountain is somehow standing in your power more and waking the parts of you that have been hidden, but the parts of you where you decide to feel alive, you decide to do things that make you feel alive, you decide to do things that step into your power. The mountain, I think the next mountain you're climbing is something to do with standing in your power, something to do with waking the lion inside of you, something to do with primal, sensual, pleasure, excitement, fun, adventure. That's what I feel. Like, that's what it's about. And so it can be very scary, but the next chapter is going to be so pivotal for you guys in your life. And I feel like it's so interesting because I always feel like we're going through something so massive. I don't know, like once you awaken, it's almost like once you've awakened, you can't go back to sleep, obviously. But once you've awakened, things really start to change and you start to really be learning lessons. It's almost like once you learn the lesson, you get more lessons and then you get different lessons and they get harder lessons. And it's like, that's a thing that happens. And so since you've awakened, the lessons that you're learning may be more difficult, but the more difficult it is, the more rewarding it is. And you're going to feel the reward of the healing that you've been doing because you're able to move to this next mountain. Most people don't even get to the next mountain. Most people don't even know how to climb the first mountain that they're given. And so it's like, since you've been able to climb all these mountains, the gifts and the prizes and the treasure and the hidden nuggets of gold that you get from crushing the lessons is going to be something you never lose. It's going to be with you your whole life, and it's going to help you climb more mountains. It's going to help you climb this mountain using the tools and the things that you've learned to help you climb this next mountain, because you have the ability to do it. It's just taking that first step up the mountain. Like, that's what I feel like you guys are about to do. Take the first step, and, you know, relying on yourself to take that first step and having the courage to take a leap of faith, because anytime we climb a mountain, we're taking a leap of faith. And so I think that you have to take a leap of faith here and just, you know, that you can rely on yourself, you know, you have safety inside yourself, and you know that you can move up this mountain. And it's just trudging along, man, just taking one step and then another step. And I know you guys can do it, and I know you guys know you can do it. And that's the most important thing. It's like knowing that you can do it because you've done it before, knowing that you have the tools that you need to succeed because you gained it in the last mountain, because we're never thrown into another challenge where we don't have what we need to get through it, right? You have what you need to get through this next mountain. I promise you, you do. And I think you know you do too. It's just time and taking one step at a time, guys. You've got this. You really do. You have this. You have it. You really do. And it's like trusting that you have it, because you do. Okay, I got psychic tarot for you guys. Spirit, can I get more about the shaman archetype for pile 2? There it is. Power. There it is, guys. Power. There it is. Right on top of the mountain. Look at that. Your next mountain is learning how to stand in your power more. Okay, see, here's another thing. Deception and envy. This is interesting. This is other people being deceptive around you or envious of where you're going. There we go with the root chakra. Wow. Oh my God, dude, guys. I love when that happens. I'm like, what? I didn't know that was going to happen. It happened. Okay, and then we got foundations and achievements. Yeah, this is all about relying on the foundation that you built for yourself, and your root chakra is going through something, but it's only healing. It's healing because you're moving into a new phase. It's going through a revamp because you're going through a new phase, and it may feel like discombobulating and scary at first, but your root chakra is becoming stronger because you're able to create safety in places and stability in places that it's hard to find it. So the more you have this resource of creating safety and stability in each moment, each mountain that you climb, the more your root chakra is going to become stronger and more powerful. And that's what I feel. And then this power over the mountain, I mean, that's completely about standing in your power. And this next lesson is about how to stand in your power and waking the lion. Look, we have 2 lions here, guys. Look, it's like, I can't right now. This is crazy. Look at that. You are the lion. You have this energy. You are powerful. It's just stepping into it more and feeling the safety to be able to step into it more. We can't step in our power if we don't feel safe. So creating the safety, keep creating safety. You're doing a great job. You already know how to do it. You just got to keep doing it. Just keep going, guys. And deception and envy. Someone around you is envious of you and where you're at. Just listen to your intuition, guys. Just listen to your intuition, because your intuition is never going to lead you astray. And if you have an icky feeling about someone, listen to it. Because people, the more you climb mountains, the more people are going to try to drag you back down. Or the more people are going to be jealous of you climbing it and then try to sabotage you. So just be very aware that that is there. But you are untouchable. This is the thing. You are untouchable. No one can fuck your success up more than you can. If you believe that you're going to be successful and you know you can climb the mountain, then it doesn't really matter what anyone else says or does. You're going to continue climbing the mountain. It's when we let other people's opinions affect our opinions of ourselves and our ability to climb the mountain. If you believe you can climb the mountain, then that's all that fucking matters. It doesn't matter if someone else is like, oh, well, you can't climb that mountain because you're not good enough or whatever the fuck they do. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's where you should go. I don't know if that's the job you should take. Like, that's deception and envy, and it has nothing to do with you, and it's none of your business. It's them projecting their own insecurities on top of you, but you are able to stand in your power more and say no to that. Say, no, I believe in myself. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing, and this is your life, guys. Your life. Your life. Your life. This is your life, okay? No one else gets to write your life except you. No one else gets to paint your life except you. You get to paint the colors of your life. You get to decide what makes you feel alive. You get to decide what to step into. You get to decide what feels good for you and what doesn't feel good for you. You get to decide who your friends are. You get to decide who your lovers are. You have autonomy here. This is about figuring your authority out. What is your how do you stand in your authority more of what you want, and how do you first of all get clear on what you want? How do you figure out how to stand in the power of you and move through the fear that's going to happen, because it's going to be there? And how do you successfully continually choose? I choose this because of this. I choose this for me. I choose this for me. I choose this for me. If you don't choose it for yourself, then that's more leading you away. It's like, how can you continually choose for yourself and the things that you want to do? How do you stand in your power more? How do you figure out how to say, I don't like this. That's not good enough for me, and I deserve better, because you do deserve better, and you deserve to pick the people in your life that give you tender embrace. You deserve to stand in your power. You deserve to be the authority of you. You have the authority. You get to create the life you want to create. You do. And there's nothing more freeing and beautiful than that, and scary, right? Because I don't know about you, but I left my life up to everybody else but me, because I didn't think I had the capability to do so, and I didn't want it. It's like, the more I left my life up to myself, I fucked it up. It's all on me, right? So it's like, when I made it about other people, or when other people helped me, I could be like, oh, but it wasn't me. So it's like, I don't know if that's a little bit there. I don't think it's totally there, but I think you've gotten past that. That's past energy. And I think that you're moving into, like, I have full autonomy over myself, and every choice I make is either to hurt me or to either move in love or hurt. How do I continually make choices out of love? And if I make a choice out of hurt, how do I love myself through the choices that are hurting? How do I love myself when I make a wrong decision for myself? And how do I move through the pain that causes me, and then make a better decision next time? How do I learn from my mistakes? How do I figure out the lessons that I'm meant to learn? How do I find meaning in the times when I make mistakes, or the times that I'm scared and the times that I'm afraid? And how do I move forward and stand in my power? It's really beautiful, guys. I'm like really proud of you guys, and I just think it's very powerful energy. You guys have very powerful energy, and this is very powerful. This mountain that you're going to climb next, you can do this. You have the power to do it. You have the ability to do it. It's just believing in yourself continually and choosing for yourself what you want. Get your power back. You have forgotten who you are. You are a child of the divine, so take back your power. This is more just talking about the power thing. You have the power to do so. It's just believing that you have the ability and remembering who you are. Who are you? Remember who you are. You are magnificent. You will manifest what you need. Express gratitude as if your plans have already come to pass. Trust that your angels are bringing you the assistance you need. So I have a really hard time with this, but I always think, okay, so I have a fear of change, right? Change. So it's like, when I move from a place of like, oh, I'm afraid this will happen and I'm afraid this will happen, I'm not saying that you manifest that, but I am saying that it causes more fear and pain, which can cause more decisions that are made that aren't out of love. So what I do is I see my life the way I want it to. I see the excitement of me moving into a new phase and actually going really great. It's like a visualization technique. Like when I used to play volleyball, I would just see myself over and over and over again all night, hitting the ball and being like making the perfect fucking serve, making the perfect move. And it actually trains your brain and your body to believe that that's what's going to happen. And it's like, what is this next phase of your life? What do you want it to look like? What do you want it to feel like? And really truly see it clearly. That's going to make you excited. That's going to make you move out of fear. That's going to make you want to step into it. That's going to make you be able to step in your power, remember who you are, and remember that life can be exciting. It doesn't always have to be scary and sad, even though it is a lot of the time. But there is excitement and love and meaning waiting for you. And you just have to keep trying to find it and keep trying to see it that way. And that's all you have to do. Okay, one more card. One more card, Spirit, for guidance. Archangel Michael is with you now. Even though you can't see it, I am actively working on this situation. I am here and helping you. Archangel Michael is with you, like, for real. Like, angels are you're totally divinely guided. I want to get more for some reason. This is a blessing in disguise. Be patient and have faith that your angels have the situation under control. What will come is far better than you dared to dream. See, there's this, what will come is far better than you dared to dream. It's figuring that out. It's seeing the most amazing outcome and letting yourself feel what that feels like. And then it says, put your creative energy into action. Archangel Gabriel joins me to spark your creativity, help you communicate your vision, and motivate you to create something beautiful. You guys are meant to create something beautiful as well. It's just, I think this mountain's about, I just know it's about power and standing in your power. And you have the ability, you have the power inside you already. It's just feeling the safety to step into that continually and loving yourself no matter what. And you guys have the ability to do that. You've been doing it. So continue doing what you've been doing. And I'm so proud of you. Oh, and go and see my other 2 collaborators in my description box to see the witch and the fairy archetype readings. And like and subscribe. And can you put, I don't know if there's a lion. I don't know if there's a lion. Is there a lion in the emojis? If there's not, put a tree. Or whatever. Put whatever if you want. But put it if you want as a comment so I can see you guys are a part of this pile. If not, no big deal. Like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you guys next time. Hi, Pal 3. Welcome to your reading. So today we're looking at the Shaman Archetype and how it's playing out in your life. Your main archetype card's the Lover. We have Mentor, Light Attribute, Passing on Wisdom and Refining a Student's Character, Shadow Attributes, Inability to allow the student to move on to the role of Master, imparting false instructions. We have Blessings. We have 39, Wish Upon a Star, 11, Cornucopia, Shame, Divine Healers, Pleasure, Divine Goddess. We have Femme Fatale, Light Attributes, highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, opens your heart where your dependency is rejected. Shadow Attributes, inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. We have Freedom, 28, Victory, and 34, Opening to Discovery. Okay, so to start off, I really feel like what I'm getting from your energy is that you guys have a serious strength and serious enticing, temptress, beautiful energy that's very sensual. It's like you carry it with you. I have it too, so it's interesting. But I just, this shame card, it's like, I feel like you guys have been really doing a lot of healing on the shame and figuring out what makes you feel pleasure. And I feel like you really connect with people through love. Just generally, just love. You're very loving and you have a very kind and magnificent, beautiful, mystical energy. That's what I'm getting. And I feel like a lot of the healing that where you're going to find your power is by healing the shame that you've had about yourself or about things that you've been through. I feel like this pile has been through a lot of stuff, like abuse or TMI, but like sexual assault. Not all of you have, but some of you have. And I just want to say that to be able to do the healing on the shame, however it has been in your life, is where you're going to find your freedom. And I think you know that. And I think that that's something that you've been looking at. And since you have this beautiful, magnificent energy, this loving energy is where you're going to find your power. And the power is in knowing that you have shame and that you've healed it. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. I'm having to do some practical stuff for a second. You guys are a mentor to others. And I just really get the sense that you are finding this aliveness in the ability, in your beautiful energy in your sacral chakra. Your sacral chakra is all about your emotions, but it's also about pleasure and feeling alive. And I feel like you guys are really stepping into owning your sexual power and owning your sensual power. It's very specific, but that's what I'm getting. And there is this victory and freedom in owning who you are as a whole. Like everything, all the darkness, all of the light, everything. You're figuring out how to own yourself as a whole person. And their blessings are coming in because of that. It's like I get the sense that your shaman archetype is through love. It's through this beautiful sensual energy. It's through this abundance that you have. You have such a filling a filling cup. You have such a full cup. You have such a satisfying, beautiful energy, and you give that to others, and you make them feel like they can own their power and own themselves because you own yourself. You give people permission to be themselves because you love yourself as a whole, and you are getting really connected, I feel like, lately on what your wishes are and what your desires are. Like, what are your desires, and how can I make myself feel more alive? How can I make myself feel more abundant? How can I find people that serve me better? How can I stand in my freedom more? How can I own my energy more? How can I love the parts of me that are the hardest to love? I mean, that's what I'm mostly getting. It's like you're figuring out how to love the darkest, right? And the most hidden parts of yourself. And the thing is that the darkest and most hidden parts of ourselves is where we're going to have the most healing, the most gifts that come out of it, the most blessings, the most freedom. Once we get connected to those parts of ourselves and figure out how to make them feel seen so that the shame doesn't create pain and suffering, we find freedom. And I think that you guys are finding freedom in yourself because you are doing the work to look at these shameful parts of yourself, right? Because I don't even like to say that, because we have parts of ourselves and they're all have a job and they're meant to help us. And, you know, I think that you're figuring out how to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you made in the past. I think you're figuring out how to forgive yourself for mistakes you make in the present. I feel like you're figuring out how to show up for yourself when you make mistakes, right? There's another word that's like mistakes, right? The construct of mistakes. But you guys are figuring out how to love yourself and see that no matter what you do, you're going to be okay. No matter what mistakes you make, you're going to be okay because you're going to learn from it and you're going to move forward with it, and you're going to be okay because you know how to show up for yourself. It's like the mistakes are going to happen, guys. Like, it's not about stopping the mistakes from happening, which I think a lot of us unconsciously do. Like, how do I stop this from happening again? Because it's so fucking painful. And it's like, yes, there's a part of that, but it's not all about stopping the mistake. It's about figuring out how to bring compassion and forgiveness in when you made the mistake, and figuring out how to love yourself when you make the mistake, and figuring out how to use your beautiful energy that you give so freely to others and moving it back onto yourself. How do I take the energy that I give others, the compassion and the love and the forgiveness I give to others, and how do I turn that on myself? Because you guys have that in spades. And I think that that's what you've been doing, is figuring out how to bring light to the darkest parts of yourself. Love the darkest parts of yourself. Love when you make mistakes, and because you're able to stand in your power, figure out what the lesson was, find meaning in it, and move forward, and then bring those lessons with you, because you never learn what you never lose what you learn from a mistake. You don't lose that. You take it with you. If you've healed your shame, you take the blessings of healing that shame with you. If you're just healing and finding victory in yourself. And a part of that is owning this beautiful part. I feel like a lot of you have had a hard time owning this sensual, pleasurable part of yourself, this femme fatale, this erotic energy. And it's been hard maybe to own this erotic energy because you've had people probably call you names. I have. I don't know if this is totally true for all of you, but you maybe have been shamed in your erotic energy. And I think that you're figuring out how to not be shamed in your erotic energy. Understand how fucking powerful it is, because it's powerful, and people are afraid and want to shame what they do not understand and what they do not have, and what, you know, they just want to shame what they don't understand, and they want to shame people that are in their power. And you owning this erotic, beautiful part of yourself, this lover, this pleasure, this healing of the shame, you owning this beautiful part of yourself is what's going to bring you into your power. It's what's going to give other people permission to own their power. It's where you're going to find the most victory and the most cornucopia and the most freedom. And it's because you're open to discovery. You're open to figuring out what's going on, and you're open to new parts of yourself. You're open to bringing in the parts of yourself that you may have shunned. You guys are open. And I think having that flexibility and being open is what's going to continue to help you heal. As long as you continue to be open and curious and bring compassion to where there is no compassion, that's what you need to continue on the journey that you've been on. That's what you need to continue to be better and to love yourself better, because this is all about, how do you love yourself better? How do you love yourself when you make mistakes? How do you find meaning? How do you find lessons? How do you find whatever you need to find so that you can make better choices in the future? But not just that, but to just make it easier on yourself, because we're we're the hardest on ourselves than we are to anyone else. We're always going to be the hardest on yourself. It's like, how can you stop being so hard on yourself? How can you see that if you make a mistake, it's usually born out of pain, and that pain is from somewhere that's deep inside you that happened to you probably when you were a child that you didn't deserve, and it's a process that's been created to keep yourself safe. It may not be a healthy process, but it's something that has kept you safe. And it's like recognizing that we make mistakes out of pain, okay? Out of pain. We don't make mistakes for no reason, or not mistakes. We don't make choices that hurt us for no reason. We make choices that hurt us because we are in pain, right? It's like, that's where you can bring the compassion in. Wow, I did this because I was in a lot of pain and I didn't know how to handle it, and I didn't know how to find the tools I needed. I didn't have the resources I needed, or whatever the heck it was in the moment to be able to be there for myself like I'm figuring out how to do now. And how can I find compassion for whatever just happened, right? That I can find for other people, but it's hard for me to find for myself. And it's the more that you can bring compassion and forgiveness for what your choice was, whatever choice this was that you may have just made. Because I get the sense that some of you may have just made a choice that really hurt you. And understanding, maybe not all of you, but understanding that when you make choices that hurt you, it's because it's born out of a place of pain and or shame and or feeling like you don't deserve something, or feeling not good enough, or whatever, or a response to a really difficult thing you're going through. How can you bring more compassion in? Because that's where you're going to find this freedom. And I think you've been doing that. I just think that over time, sometimes we think that because we've grown so much, it means that we're not going to make mistakes or the same mistakes. And that's not true. Sometimes we have to make a mistake over and over again. And maybe it's because there's more things we need to learn. And maybe it's an opportunity to show up for yourself in a way that you haven't before. And that opportunity of showing up for yourself in a compassionate and loving and calm and caring and balanced way is something that you are continually learning how to do, and that you will continue to be able to implement. The more we make mistakes, the more we have opportunities to, to be this way, right? To show up in a different way. And while it fucking sucks, and while it doesn't feel good, and while we get to feel all the overwhelming feelings from making that choice, we still get the opportunity to love and heal and nurture ourselves during these times, because you only have yourself. And I think that's something else you're learning. Like, I have myself. I can only rely on myself. Yes, I would like to rely on others, but it's like your anchor is yourself. And I think you've been realizing my anchor is myself. I can rely on myself, and that is okay, because I know how to show up for myself in a different way, the way I haven't done before. And I think it's very powerful. You guys have you're very powerful as a person. And I think that the more that you give yourself permission to stand in your power, the better you're going to be, and the better you're going to feel, and the better you're going to be able to move through your life. And the other great thing about it is that you get to show others how to do it. And I think it's really beautiful. Okay, I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot to see what else. Spirit, is there anything else for this archetype of the shaman that pile 3 needs to see? Whoa, that's a lot. It's funny because lots come out when a lot needs to be said. I don't know, should I take all of these? Okay, power, deception, and envy. Love begins. Foundation, achievements, base chakra. Okay, it's funny because I feel like all the piles have gotten power, and the last pile got this one, and the last pile got this one. That's just really interesting. I want one more, which I usually don't, but I want one more. I'm pulling a lot of tarot cards for you guys, which is not normal. Not normal, but, not for the other piles. Material and spiritual more prosperity, yeah. Okay. So your love begins. I love that we have the Lover and love begins. I think that there's a new relationship that could be coming in for you, friendship or romance. But I also think that there's a relationship that's being born in yourself it's a relationship that's being born in a new way. You already have cultivated a relationship with yourself, but I think that you're figuring out with clarity how to more fully embody love for yourself. And because you're doing that, that's going to help you stand in your power. And then also your root chakra, like your sacral chakra that I've talked about, maybe going through, I think I talked about that, maybe going through a revamp. And because you're trying to figure out how to feel more stable and secure in where you are, and when you feel more stable and secure in where you are with your base chakra, which is your root chakra, you're going to be able to stand in your power more. And of course, there's people that are deceptive and envious of you because you're able to do all this, because you're so erotic, because you're so sensual, because you have this beautiful power of love. You really are. Your power is love. I know that sounds so fucking corny, but it's true. And so it's like people are going to want to pull you down, but you are untouchable. Honestly, you guys, untouchable. As long as you believe in yourself and you know who you are and you know that you can show up for yourself, no one can fucking touch you. You are building a new foundation of yourself, and then we have material and spiritual prosperity. I feel like there's this victory card, cornucopia, and material and spiritual prosperity. You guys are coming into, I hate when people say this online. I don't hate it, but I'm like, come on, guys, really abundance. It's coming in for me. But like, really, like, I'm going to say it, but yes, because you're standing in your power, that can only lead to really beautiful things. And life is not only about the shit that's hard. Life can be exciting. Life can make you feel alive. Life is about love. It's like, how can you use what you have inside you and implement more love in your life? Because that's who you are. That's what you thrive off of, love. How can you create more loving relationships? How can you create more love in yourself? How can you find more compassion and forgiveness for yourself? And how can you continually have the courage to take the steps you need to take to make your life better for you, not for anyone else, for you? How can you stand in your power more? It's just really, it's so cool, you guys. I'm so proud of you guys. This is so amazing. And it's hard. It's like, this doesn't take away how hard this is. Like, to stand in your power, to figure out how to love yourself better. That is like the hardest thing I've ever done, is trying to figure out how to love myself better. How to figure out how to be a healer for myself. How to figure out how to do shadow work and trauma work and stand in my power. It is so hard. So I just want to say that the fact that you're looking at all of this and feeling all of this and going through this, and I don't know if you guys have made a mistake recently or you feel like really bad about something you've done recently. That's what I'm getting, but it might not be for all of you. So if it doesn't resonate, don't take it. And if it does, and I'm just saying that, like, forgive yourself for the things that you've done in the past, even if it wasn't recent, even if it's in the past. Forgive yourself for what you've done. Forgive yourself for the choices that you felt like you needed to make, because I'm guaranteeing you didn't do it out of, like, you did it out of pain. You did it out of pain. So just understanding that we do things out of pain because that's what we're taught. It's okay as long as you continually try to find the compassion and forgiveness and love that you so deserve, because that's what it is. You deserve that, you guys. Okay, so we've got take control of your thoughts. Your thoughts are creating your reality. Have faith and stay focused on the outcome that you truly desire. I get the sense that a lot of you are having intrusive thoughts lately. And that's where a lot of the pain is not maybe in the mistake that you made or the choice that led you to feel pain, but actually the suffering it's caused because of the reaction that you're having to whatever happened. So really getting clear on where your thoughts are going. And this is not about stopping the thoughts. This is just about bringing compassion for the fact that your brain's on overdrive because of something that just happened. Even if it's something you didn't do. Let's say someone did something to you and you're feeling that pain. It's the suffering of, I'm not good enough, and I can't believe this happened, and why did I do this, and how can I be better, and why, blah, 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 right? That's our head. Your head is loud. So just being very curious and accepting that your head is really loud and letting yourself feel all the feelings that's associated with it, and understanding that it's okay that your thoughts are not always going to be this loud. It's just in reaction to something, and then trying to find the stillness that you need to try to just find relief from the thoughts for a little bit. You only need relief from the thoughts for a little bit. You don't got to do it all day, but try to find relief through meditation or through taking a bath or finding something comfy to do just for an hour, just for 5 minutes, whatever you can do to try to create stillness is where I think you'll find more safety. Okay, Spirit, anything else? Okay, so we've got put your creative energy into action. Archangel Gabriel joins me to spark your creativity, help you communicate your vision, and motivate you to create something beautiful. We have your prayers are being answered. Your prayers are being received by the divine. Answers will come soon, although perhaps in forms you didn't expect. I get the sense that a lot of you are praying to get through whatever the situation is. I don't know why. I just really feel like you guys are in some type of situation that's causing you pain, and you're asking for help in getting through it. And this is your confirmation that Spirit has heard you. I'm telling you that Spirit has heard you and your prayers are being answered. It's not going to feel this scary forever. Your head's not going to be this loud forever if there's something that you're going through right now. And you're going to be able to love yourself. All you have to do is use this beautiful energy that you have for others and use it on yourself. And it's just making the choice to do so. I want like 2 more. We've got, you are protected. You are safe within my bubble of light. You can proceed with confidence. I get that this you are protected card is about this envious and envious card from others. This is Spirit saying you are protected. You are protected. You cannot get spiritually attacked, or you can't have your shit go wrong. You are protected. Spirit is protecting you. And if you don't believe in Spirit, this is just You're protected. Just you're protected. I'm telling you, you're protected if you don't believe in spirit. I think most of you do, though. We've got embrace this magical moment. You are in the perfect energetic space for manifesting miracles. Allow your wishes to be fulfilled. You have more than you believe you do. You are more okay than you believe you are. You are okay. Everything is going to be okay. You're moving through this. You're almost out of this, whatever this is. Forgive yourself. Find compassion where you can. You are powerful. You have a beautiful energy. And you are protected by spirit. And your prayers are being heard. You are being heard. You are not alone. I feel like if I could say anything in this reading that's probably most important is that you're not alone. That you're not alone. And you're not a bad person. And if you made a mistake or made a choice that hurt you, it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be okay. And you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You are. So it's like, breathe that in. I'm going to be okay. I have myself. I know that everything's going to be okay. I just got to get through this. It's not going to last forever. And I'm going to look back and I'm going to be like, wow, I learned a lot from that. It sucked, but I learned a lot. And it's just like, you're doing great, pile 3. And I just am so proud of you. And put a star in the description box. Not description box. Put a star in your comments if you can for pile 3 so I know you guys have pile 3. Also, in my description box, I'm going to have the other archetype collaborators videos in there, so go check them out. They're amazing for the witch and the fairy, because this is about the shaman. But yeah, like and subscribe, guys, and I will see you guys next time.